So you say...
On Sunday this week, the president gave an address that lasted nearly 5 hours at State House in Entebbe. After his speech, the president answered at least 10 questions from journalists. This is not common. A week later, the president is again scheduled to deliver another national address this Saturday. All major television and radio stations will most likely air the address live, just like they have done before. 3 months ago in June, the president addressed MPs and tackled security in a special sitting of the House following the gruesome murder of Arua Municipality MP Ibrahim Abiriga on 8th June. He gave a 10-point plan to improve the national security, including the installation of the CCTV cameras and the fingerprinting of guns.
In a call to the 99, immediately the drone flies out. And if anybody is trying to escape with the pick his what, it will be on him.
About 2 weeks later, the president again met the ruling NRM party parliamentary caucus, and security dominated the closed-door meeting. Some analysts argue that such engagements indicate that the president has lost trust in government institutions to deliver as he wishes.
It projects or indicates him as trying to manage the government almost single-handedly, because these agencies and ministries which we have would be able to give a clear position on what has happened and brief him accordingly.
Dr. Kakungulu Mayambala, senior lecturer of Makerere University, says when national security seems threatened, as is the case now, the president must show leadership by assuring people of their safety.
But that's why the president has always called himself a Sabarwan. So being the chief fighter in some of these situations, he thinks they require a fighter.
A security expert, Fred Egesa, advises that in such situations, the president should speak less, listen more, than act.
He should possibly, first of all, sit down, open his ears to almost all who can contribute in terms of advice, in terms of information, so that by the time he comes up, he will have a much more conclusive analysis and a better solutions.
Okay, so if the president wants to give more address on security, particularly on security, I don't see any harm with that, especially if he's giving counsel on how to take personal security and he continues to elucidate on what government is doing.
Egesa suspects that the president could have been given wrong information and could act in a rush manner.
Inside him, there is that kind of doubt about how his people are doing the work.
Egesa and Dr. Mayambala urge government to do all it takes to guarantee safety of citizens in light of recent unexplained killings, including over 20 women in Wakiso and latest police officer Muhammad Chirumira. Failing that, they warn that the NRM government could lose its bedrock of security.
The sooner they do it, the better. How they are going to do it is they have to examine their own house.
Rural terrorism was defeated, okay? We are now facing with urban terrorism. Is that a fact or not a fact? It is a fact. Look at the murders you've seen. They are targeting them mainly in the towns. Kajes was killed in Nigeria.
Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Frank Tumwebaze, dismisses such fears.
I would want to hear their views on how do we equip our police strength, given the fact that our budget is not adequate enough to increase the numbers to meet the international policing ratios.
Ivan Chimuchigozi, NTV.